From Isolation Studios, it's Richard Krause.
Was any of this recorded during COVID, during the lockdown? And if so, how do you, there's a lot of collaborations on this. How do you collaborate if you're in lockdown?
A lot of it was done. It was all written. I tell you what, the whole idea started last year when I did the Disney Christmas special with Sting. And we did a couple of Christmas songs. One of them was Jamaican Drummer Boy. And Sting and I started talking about doing a Christmas album. It'd be great to do a Christmas reggae album. And so I started to work on it around March when I came back from the UK tour. And I figured that, you know, then the pandemic hit. And I was like, all right, cool. This is going to probably last for about a month, you know, and then I get to see Sting again and then we just continue. And it didn't stop. And he was stuck in the UK and was stuck in New York. And we just couldn't get to do it. And he wasn't traveling. So I just kept writing it. And I kept writing it now from a Shaggy perspective and from a Jamaica perspective. And then Jamaica opened back up and I came back to Jamaica. And that's when I started to connect with these artists. And a lot of them, I went in the studio for some of it because once you quarantine for the 14 days, then you can move about, but there's a curfew, you know? And so they would come into the studios and I'll do my backgrounds on certain days and my horns on certain days and, you know, just kind of make it work.
It must have been a much different kind of recording process though than you're used to.
The vibe was kind of the same. It's just within the time restrictions. Like, you know, I think the curfews were at 9 o'clock, you know, when it was, I think it's still at 9 o'clock actually. And so I had to get it done in between there. I think at that time the curfew was at 5, ended at 5. So I had to do everything in a day, which was a little bit difficult because most of these artists, they're asleep during the day.
Right. Now, tell me a little bit about what differentiates this album from other Christmas albums.
I think what makes it different, it's from the point of view. If you listen to the lyrical content of a lot of it, it's talking about Christmas, but it's talking about a Jamaican style of Christmas. You know, there's sunshine, there's beach, there's weed, there's rum, there is a certain type of food. You're talking about Sarah, you're talking about Grand Market, which is kind of like a Christmas market, you know, of kids going and getting toys and stuff, but on a market style. Right. You know, you're just talking about the food. You're talking about the just the culture within itself, and where Christmas in Jamaica, it's a party culture. You know, you're talking hopping because the weather's so great. You're hopping from parties to party. There's day parties, there's beach parties, there's night parties. You know, just all white parties. You know, I mean, there's let's drink rum party. You know, it's whatever it is. But it's just the festivity goes on and it's incredible. And then the sonics of it, the sound of it, I made it very hybrid. You know, there's some classic reggae tracks, like with the classic songs, I put them in raw, straight traditional reggae. But then there's other songs that have pop elements to them, like Have Yourself Some Rays, you know, songs like Open Presents, This Is So Beautiful, done by Romain Berger. So here's a reggae crooner who does these really one-drop reggae records, but then you're putting them on this really pop record. You know, you got Bounty Killer and Junior Reid, who are, you know, two icons, but
yeah,
you know,
legends.
Legends. But Bounty Killer is always just a hardcore guy, but then he's singing about Christmas, you know, and having a smile about it and doing. So it's these things that you put together to create this really wonderful roller coaster ride of Christmas emotions.
Tell me what you want for Christmas, baby, what you want for Christmas. Sit on me like we are wish list, put it on me like a holiday in Jamaica, holiday in Jamaica.
Under the Christmas tree, she get her under the Christmas tree. Yeah. Bumper bigger than a street party, with it buff up in a red pant. I wear the keys for the Jeep. Shaggy, you drive, come me under Hennessy. Ready for dance and now set up the Louis V. And if you see no liquor spill, I never may.
Tell me what you want for Christmas, baby, what you want for Christmas. Sit on me like we are wish list, put it on me like a holiday.
You started this last year, or started thinking about it with Sting. But growing up, were Christmas songs something that you were drawn to at all?
I was really drawn to like a lot of the traditional, like for instance, if you hear Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell Rock, you just know, okay, that's Christmas. It just tells you. But there are certain classic Jamaican Christmas songs like Santa Claus, Carlene Davis's song, Santa Claus, do you ever come to the ghetto?
Yeah.
The ghetto. Classic song that she has done. And that has been, as a kid growing up, was part of the whole time.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let yourself be